Patrick Jordan, welcome to Burgh, Vivant.
Thanks for having me.
Actor, producer, at your heart and soul. What are you, though, really?
I'm Patrick Jordan from Pittsburgh.
You're very down to earth, very approachable, you know?
Yeah.
I think maybe people who have seen you in film and television and stage might be a little intimidated, but...
I don't see why, but I mean, I've played some assholes, so I guess that might be it too. And,
that's it.
And my eyebrows tend to get me into trouble.
They are a little threatening.
A lot of people think that I'm angry when I'm not. People feel threatened when they shouldn't be. It's kind of doomed me to a certain kind of role in film.
Did you see yourself here growing up?
No, actually, I didn't. I didn't really see myself in much. I mean, I acted in plays when I was younger. When I was little, my mother put me into a lot of different theater arts workshop type things. I actually played football when I was in high school, and the two didn't really intersect for some reason.
There aren't many football plays or football musicals.
I'm sure there are. They just did a Lombardi musical. Not a musical, but a Lombardi Broadway show.
Where were you for that one? I mean,
I didn't think that was. It wasn't until I was a freshman in college that I think that I started looking at this as if it was a career or a life path.
Yeah. And you get plenty of work as an actor here in this city.
I've been fortunate the last few years, yeah.
And it's great to see that a city of this size really supports a lot of performing arts careers, you know?
It does.
You don't necessarily have to go to New York to work. I mean, you in some ways, yes, in some ways,
no. Some ways, yes, the New York, LA, and even Chicago thing, but if you can find your niche, you know, Pittsburgh is a very welcoming place for that, and you can make a living doing it. And the cost of living is a lot lower here than other places and stuff. But you can actually work here. I mean, I've been really lucky with some film roles and stuff in some of the bigger films, and usually just films that come into town. And I've got friends that are, you know, better actors than me that live out in Los Angeles, and they're, you know, I'm calling them. I'm like, hey, I'm coming out to LA to shoot this movie, and they're like, how did you get a role in that movie? I couldn't even get an audition. And I'm like, yeah, better, you know.
So, what point did you say, not only do I want to be an actor, but I want to form a company?
That was about 2003, and it was kind of a mistake. A friend of mine from college, and her name was Beth Hersey. She had this script for this Neil LaBute play called Bash, and no one had done a Neil LaBute play in Pittsburgh up to that point.
Ever. Oh, poor Neil.
So it drove me crazy, and Neil LaBute, a very good writer and prolific, and all over New York constantly, and make a lot of movies, and the company men, blah, 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 blah. So we decided to just do this show. We pitched it to a couple of places with our cast, and they didn't want to do it. And so we decided to do it ourselves and form a little company around it. And we went through different names for the company. It was going to be like Shot in the Arm Theater, because we were just one-off. We were just going to do the one play to show people, like, hey, there's plays like this that people want to see, and they could be commercially viable. And so we ended up doing the show underneath a bowling alley in Squirrel Hill, underneath Forward Lanes, in the storage room of a vintage clothing shop that had some space to it. We did it all with practical lightings and just lamps, chairs. It was 3 different monologue plays. And the stage manager had a power strip with plugs. So lights go on, lights go off, lights go on, lights go off. And each scene happened. We were expecting 10 or 12 people a night. We were getting 80.
Wow.
And it was well received, and a lot of people came. It was awesome. And so we thought, okay, other people are going to start doing these plays. Well, no one was doing those plays. So Beth then moved to Chicago, and she stayed there, so it was just me left here. So I decided to do one more show. And so we did a Neil LaBute play, a Kenneth Lonergan play. And we did that in Garfield. We had a different band play every night after the show, and would buy a keg of beer every night, and everything was suggested donation. Like, the tickets were essentially free. I mean, we had everything we had senior citizens, we had panhandlers, we had hip hop, like kids in hip hop groups, we had the anarchists. Everybody would just come to these shows.
There are a few things that I can think of in this city that would bring all those demographics together. So you're really onto something.
Well, free and beer is helpful.
That's universal.
This is Pittsburgh. So so we had that going on, and that was great. And that was successful. And then we got a little bit of funding for our next show from the Sprout Fund. Everything else was out of pocket up to that point. Wow. And so we did another show with a little bit of a budget, and then that was great. And then after that, we did a show called Frozen, and we had 2 fantastic actresses. We had Helena Rawati, and Susie McGregor-Lang, who are just incredible.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh,
so we
does
had
it?
we got them in a show, which kind of really made us seem legitimate, you know. And Melissa, who's directing Streetcar, directed that show too, and we've been rolling ever since. And we've done a variety of different plays from a variety of different genres, all local premieres, with the exception of one and then this. So everything we've done were mostly playwright premieres. We were the first to do a lot of very popular playwrights. We were the first to do Tracy Letts, for instance. We did 2 of his shows, and so that was basically how it came about doing it. And you know, for the first 6 plays, it was like, all right, we're just going to do this one, and then it's going to quit. And then it was just kind of like a need to keep doing it, and it's you know, it formed and incorporated, and
It's got momentum.
it's got momentum, yeah. And now we're doing Streetcar Named Desire, and it's huge. Yeah.
And the company, which
Oh, yeah.
we have not mentioned up to this point,
Oh,
is
yeah.
Barebones.
Barebones Productions, yes. Yeah,
And
check
I
us
have
out.
I have to guess that, you know, maybe what inspired that title was plugging and unplugging your lights from a power strip.
That's how
the
it all
first,
started. It was just
time
the
out.
core of it. I mean, playwright-driven, you know, actor-driven, director-driven. I mean, that's it. I mean, you don't really need a lot of bells and whistles. The mission, we basically want to facilitate, you know, give theater artists the facility to be able to create and do shows with minimum production elements for maximum impact. So basically, just the core of it. I mean, we're doing plays. We're not making movies here. So we want it all stripped down. So we did Steady Rain earlier in February, and then Streetcar Named Desire will be our second one this calendar year.
Right, so Streetcar Named Desire is the show coming up right around the bend here.
Right around the bend.
So what, now, as producer, do you choose the plays?
Pretty much,
each time
yeah.
around? So what brought you to this American classic?
Well, I've been thinking about it for a very long time, obviously, and it's like most of the shows that Barebones Productions does. I usually have to sleep on it for a year, and usually it's, we can never do this. And then I'll read it again, we can never do this, and then slowly it starts to snowball. This play hasn't been done professionally in Pittsburgh in almost 2 decades, and it might even be more than that. And I just didn't want a generation of theater goers in Pittsburgh to kind of miss out on this, because everyone thinks that they know this play, and I don't know it. You know what I mean? I'm working on it. We're still in the feeling out process now, but everybody thinks they know this play, and our take's going to be a little bit different. I mean, we're not going to cross cast or anything, but I just felt like this was right, and we did a reading of it. I did a reading of it with Tammy Dixon, who's actually playing Blanche in this show, a little over a year ago, and it kind of clicked there, and it's kind of grown from there, and it kind of fostered. And I started talking to those guys, everybody in the cast that was going to be a part of it, and I was like, I think we're going to do this. And everyone got really excited. There's a really good buzz going around it, and hopefully everyone comes out to see it.
And who will you be playing in Streetcar?
Stanley Kowalski.
Oh, there you go.
Right, yes.
All right.
Yes. As far as Stanley Kowalski and the Marlon Brando thing, it's like a huge shadow looming over the role. I mean, people are coming up to me like, oh, are you playing the Brando part? So I've never had that experience before. I've never done a play that was a movie, really. Well, I did Glenn Ross, but it was different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it's a big thing. But we're all making it our own. I mean, Vivian Lee, won the Oscar for the role and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff there. But yeah, it's intimidating, but we're kind of going at it straightforward.
So for those of us who think we know Streetcar, what can we expect from the Barebones production?
Well, it'll be visceral. It'll be real. I've never seen a production of Streetcar. I mean, I saw the movie years ago, so I'm not sure. But just from talking to people, everyone thinks it's a very specific kind of a thing. They're thinking like wife beaters, this, that, the other thing, sadness, and all. There's a lot more to it. There's humor to it. There's a love story at its core. This is the first time I've ever produced a play that everyone thinks they know. So, and maybe they do. I mean, but everyone can't be right. The cast is incredible. Tammy Dixon, Jeffrey Carpenter.
Yes.
A female actress named Genesee Johnson came in. She's making her Pittsburgh stage debut. She came in from California for it. We've got like just a fantastic
Jamie
cast.
Slavinsky, I
Jamie
know her.
Slavinsky.
She's wonderful.
Technically, there's 4 artistic directors in this cast.
Oh, right.
Jeffrey Carpenter and Tammy Dixon are artistic directors at Bricolage. Jamie has Organic Theater, and I have Barebones.
Wow, there's a lot of talent coming here together.
That's right. And Melissa Martin is directing. Melissa's a fantastic director. Here's one thing that you've never seen at a Streetcar Named Desire show. We have Joe Grishecki playing live almost every night at the show.
In the show, or just sort of as a...
He is part of the show. He's not, he's on stage. He'll have his own area. Joe Grishecki and John Gresh are going to be working together and forming a little mini band.
A Streetcar Named Desire. You're putting lyrics to it?
I don't know. I should write that down. That was good. That was my scene with Christian Bale.
I'm a huge Batman fan, and I did not know that you were hanging from a helicopter. I mean,
I wasn't actually hanging from it. They green screened it.
Your character. Okay,
my character was, yeah.
That's bad. Like, good. I wanted to say badass. I'm going to have to edit that out. Can I say ass? I don't know. It's my show. I'll say
you
if I
can
want
say what
to.
you want. It's on the internet. And I thought it was a great play. Excuse me for a second. I'm going to sneeze.
Oh, yeah. Bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We did a commercial that was like, a show that's so risky, we can't even tell you the name. For the show that cannot be named, go to barebonesproductions.com.
Where did that run?
It was on Comcast.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, we had it on cable. It was on Comedy Central. To the point where people didn't come to the show, but they saw me and they were like, hey, you were in the play that can't be named? What's that called? It's called The Motherfucker with the Hat. You're going to be editing this all night. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's...
Have you ever been compared to Brando?
In my dreams.
No, I can kind of see it.
Oh,
I mean, that
my
makes
God.
sense. Like,
You're
a young
coming home.
Brando, okay?
I just want
not like...
to fold you up and put you in my pocket. I'm going to take you home with me.
Well, but not like, Island of Dr. Moreau Brando.
I would take
Streetcar Brando.
I would take Island of Dr. Moreau Brando. I would take any Brando you want to throw at me.
It's tough doing this. I'm terrified right now.
Oh yeah, I can tell
Yeah.
You're shaking.
Yeah.
Your knees
The
are
folks at
trembling.
home can't see this.
I know, but man, this kid, it's like a taut string. I mean, the camera's not picking it up.
I had to have 6 martinis before I sat down here.
That's
and
all right. I
think
might
did
have a
pretty
couple.
well, huh?
That's good. You're
Good.
You're holding it down.
I am. That's years of experience. My grandfather, when I was a baby, rubbed vodka on my gums to stop me from crying, and a star was born.